What's up, guys? Viper FPV here, and today I have another bind and fly quad for you all to set up. This is the Emax Nanohawk. It's a nice little tiny little guy here. Check out how tiny this thing is. And this, for comparison, my hand there, radio there. This thing is tiny. So what we're gonna be doing here is just kind of showing you guys how to bind it up and get it all set up to get flying, because not all bind and flies are just, bind and then fly, because you have your switches, you have maybe something set up differently. So we're gonna go ahead and just dive in real quick and show you guys exactly what I do when I get a new quad in. So I got my model already in here. Now, the setup model, I'm not going to go into so much detail because it's actually a lot to it, and this video would be like 15 minutes long just to get that video up. So I'm going to leave a link down below. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bind this up to the Nanohawk. And the bind button on this is actually right on the, I guess you can call it left side, right over here by the red wire going down. There's a little tiny button you'll need to press with something tiny. So make sure you have your battery charged as well. So this one comes with these little tiny batteries here. So grab your battery and plug it into the quadcopter. At this step, I do recommend having your props off. I don't care how big the quadcopter is, if it's tiny, big. Always have your props off to make sure you don't get hurt. And once you power it up and you have your radio on the bind button already enabled on the radio, then you can go ahead and click on the button and it's bound to the radio at that point, as the lights will stop flashing. So next step is we're going to go ahead and go over into Betaflight and just make sure our switches are all set up. Apparently the arm switch works, so we're good there. So let's go ahead and just double check everything, make sure we have the optimal settings, and then we'll all be all set up. So we have Betaflight already loaded on the computer. If you're unaware of anything about Betaflight at all, I'll leave a link down below. You can check out. It'd be more of a instructional video to kind of introduce you to Betaflight. So check out that if you are new. But anyway, let's go ahead and kick off with connecting on our Nanohawk to the computer via micro USB. Now, if you have problems where it won't connect, make sure that if this is your first time using Betaflight, that you have these things right here, these drivers and all that stuff installed. After that's all installed, then you should be able to connect and check it out. Obviously, if you have any other problems, maybe your USB cable might be to blame. So try different USB cables if you're having a problem connecting the Betaflight with your Nanohawk. So right after it connects, just want to hit connect, and then it's going to show your quadcopter. You kind of move it around. That's the accelerometer, kind of just giving it where it needs to be. So what you want to first go ahead and do is put this on a level surface, preferably like a floor. So make sure, and then you can go ahead and calibrate your accelerometer. So I'll probably just do that first. It should be already calibrated from the factory, but I'd recommend doing that. I've already done it on here just to save some time. But all you just literally do is put on a level surface, click on this button right here, calibrate accelerometer, and it will calibrate it. Now, you shouldn't have to check any of this stuff out on the ports tab. Even on the configuration page, I didn't really have to change anything. The only thing I did have to enable was air mode. For some reason, it was disabled. So I would recommend, if you want to do tricks like flips and rolls, to enable that. And then I also enabled ARC's set loss, so it will beep to me when I set the beeper. It's using the motors to beep. So I went ahead and clicked on that. And then everything else was default in here. I didn't change anything. And then after you click on anything in here, you do want to click save and reboot, and then it'll just reboot it. Just give it a second, and then it'll come back on. Connect that back up. And then the PID tuning tab, I don't touch any of this stuff. It actually flies pretty well. I've already flew it. What you want to go ahead and do is maybe change your rates here. These are my rates that I use, 1.05 all across for RC rate, and then rate 0.79, and then RC expose 0.30. It's a little twitchy. I should probably reduce my rates. I've found that I do fly better with reduced rates, so I'm kind of experimenting that with still. But I just set them to this. This is kind of what my muscle memory is used to, so everybody might be different. But it is a little twitchy if you're starting out, so you might not want to go with mine. You might want to start with the default rates. So on the screen here on the receiver tab, I did have to change my channel map. So so I have my radio on right now. As you can see, when I move my throttle stick, it's going to 1,000, 2,000, If you don't show these numbers, I do make a video on setting your endpoints on your radio. So I suggest doing that because, for instance, like right here on my roll and my pitch, it should be at 1500 actually. For some reason it's off. Probably something going on here. But it should show 1500 for your roll and 1500 for your pitch, and then also for your yaw. So my yaw is pretty close to it. For some reason mine's not right. So don't use my numbers exactly because I need to change mine. I guess I have to adjust mine a little bit. But yeah, so you have 1000 on the bottom, 2000 on the top, and then over here you have your channel map. So if you don't see where it's like matching up, like, well, throttles roll, well, come over here and just change it. So you can change it to these 3 here, and it should get you to where you need to be. Mine's TAER 1234. So I went and clicked on save. So it saves it right there. And then over here on my modes tab, this is where I went ahead and set my switches. So I set my ARM switch to my AUX1, and it was already set up in here already. And so actually all these switches were set up here except for beeper. So I just went ahead and switched those over to my switches. So if I activate a switch, see, arming, it won't arm anything because it is disabled. And then if I want to set my aux, my beeper, and it'll turn this color when it's activated. It's not powered up, so it's not going to activate the beeper. And then same thing with aux3. I have that there. And I'm not sure if I have aux4 yet on a switch yet. Let's see. No, not yet. I'll have to put that on there. But yeah, go ahead and click on save when you make those changes. Motors tab, we don't have to do anything actually at all. And then the OSD tab, we do need to change some things around. On my screen, these are a little high, so I need to move these down just a tad. And that's actually perfect for me. Move that one over. And if you're not sure where to put these on your goggles, you can actually power it up, plug the battery into it, and then put your goggles on and move these around real time to relation to your goggles to where you would really like it. And then if you want to add some additional stuff, like say if I wanted to add, let's see here, timer 1, for example, then you just go ahead and click on it right here, a little yellow, and then you just go ahead and drag it to where you want it on your OSD. So I'm going to take that off because I don't want it. And there's a lot of different options, so everybody might want something different. But I like that. It's pretty simple. Has your voltage here for your battery. Has how long have you been flying and been armed for, and then this is your VTX channel, so R2 200 milliwatts, and then this is our warning. So if you have low voltage or something's going on, it will tell us right here. You can also add RSSI if you're planning on pushing the range of it a little bit. I'm not planning on pushing the range at all, so I don't see any reason to have it, but it is kind of good to have your RSSI just in case you have any fail safes or something like that. But when you're done in here, just click save. And then pretty much that is it to set up your little Nanohawk. So if you guys found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like. Subscribe to my channel. I do tons of FPV related content, tutorials, reviews, new products, all that stuff. So check out my channel, Viper FPV. Subscribe, like, leave a comment down below what your thoughts were, and if this video helped you out or if you had any questions. But this is Viper FPV, and I'll see you guys in a future video. Peace.